in Management from IIM Indore in 2000, which included an international MBA program at McComm School of Business, Austin, USA. Professor Dr. Gai has authored 22 research papers and one book chapter in the area of VLSI and low power design and has over 203 citations. He is also a reviewer of various journals, including IEEE Transactions on Semiconductor Manufacturing, IEEE Transactions on VLSI, International Journal of Electronics, and elsewhere Microelectronics Journal. He is a senior member of IEEE. He has served as the Vice Chairman, Membership Executive Committee, IEEE Computer Society Technical Committee on VLSI from 2017 to 2020. Professor Dr. Dhruv Rai worked as a designer engineer with Nano Dragon, LC USA in 2009 and as an ATM developer with Noida System Incorporation, USA in 2010. And as a data integration developer with Velvet Incorporation, USA in 2011. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us welcome Professor Dr. Dhruv Gai with a warm round of applause.
Am I audible? So good to go? Yes, sir. So good afternoon, everyone. See, before I begin, before I begin, I would like to thank the entire Prestige family, entire Prestige Institute of Management and Research faculty, all the organizers, especially the director, Professor Dr. R.K. Jain, Dr. Yogendra, and Dr. Bhagyashree, and all the other faculties and students for giving me such a warm welcome. I came here at 12 o'clock, so I have spent only 2 hours here, but I already feel like I know this institute since a long time, and I really feel like I'm already a part of it. So thank you for the warm welcome. And before I start this talk, before I start any talk, I would like to get to know the audience a little bit, because I know online a lot of people have joined. Yes. I believe a lot of people have joined. So is it possible for them to ask questions online? will we be able to get their questions? Question पूछ सकते हैं? So I would just like to get to know my audience. फिर क्या है, my talk will not go in a different direction and आप लोग कोई अलग direction में जाओगे. Especially it is post lunch. आप लोग सब lunch तो करके आए हो, right? Everybody had lunch. Anybody who did not have lunch, please go ahead and have lunch, okay? But because it is post lunch, I would like to get to know my audience कि आप लोग कैसे किस background से आ रहे हैं, and what are your expectations from this research methodology workshop, and what are your expectations in general from this talk? What do you expect to learn? So थोड़ा सा interactive कर लेते हैं before I start my talk, because otherwise बहुत traditional हो जाएगा and I will just go on, which we will say कि sir आए बोल के चले गए. So I'm opening the forum with sir's due permission to just let me know what your expectations are. क्या की expectations क्या हैं इस talk से, इस research methodology program से, जो भी आप बोलना चाहें. Because this presentation I have earlier given for an FDP, and the topic was cognitive science. So yes, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Ashikar. I'm from BCom CA, second year.
Okay.
I want to learn Python.
So CA is computer application?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Anybody who is online? Online? Online कोई interact करना चाहें?
Good afternoon, sir. Myself,
Good
Kanu
afternoon.
Pandey. Currently, I am working in CH University as assistant professor, and along with it, I am also pursuing my PhD from Day-1. So, from that PhD point of view, I think this FDP will be much important to me. So that's why I
Very
joined
nice.
it.
So you are from computer science area?
No, till 12th, I have studied the computer science, and I am much interested in the computer. So that's why it's not a problem.
Okay. Very nice. Good to have you here. Good to have a mixed audience, and welcome to students also. So actually this topic I have earlier also presented in another FDP in Hyderabad, but I am picking up the same topic for you, for your benefit. So I am going to be talking about something called cognitive science, and I'm going to talk about cognitive science from a computer science point of view, and also I'm going to talk to you about it from a management point of view, क्योंकि यहाँ पे काफी सारे लोग BCom, BBA, MBA discipline से हैं, PhD management भी कर रहे हैं. So just to give them an insight into how computer science is relevant to even them. You know, कोई भी field हो, any field of engineering or any field of science, unless it has some application for the real world, unless it finds some application in the real world, it is of no use, right? हमने कुछ सीखा और हम उसको apply नहीं कर सकते, so we feel that I have not been able to apply what I have learned. So that should not happen, right? So this is cognitive science, behavioral analysis, graph theoretical perspective. So there is an area of computer science which we call graph theory. Is anybody familiar with graph theory? बताइए जरूर, माइक दो. वेरी नाइस. हाँ, जो मैथमेटिक्स एरिया के होंगे वो जरूर.
Graph theory is a branch of discrete mathematics, where graph consists of two sets, set of vertices and set of edges.
Very nice. So it consists graph, वो ग्राफ नहीं है जो मैनेजमेंट वाले सोच रहे हैं. आप लोगों को बचपन से सिखाते हैं, एक बार ग्राफ होता है, एक लाइन ग्राफ होता है, राइट? लाइन ग्राफ होता है एक्स एक्सेस वाई एक्सेस, राइट? एक्स एक्सेस वाई एक्सेस, और एक्स और वाई एक्सेस का रिलेशन सिखा देते हैं और फिर सब खुश हो जाते हैं. बट दैट इज नॉट द ग्राफ दैट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. What graph I am talking about is the graph is a kind of structure, data structure, which is prevalent, which is used by most social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, और कौन सी networking websites हैं, LinkedIn. That is the structure that is used by these. So the structure is similar to, I'll give you an insight. What I am talking about looks like this. ठीक है मैडम? Or looks like, it looks like this. This is the graph I am talking about. It is not a bar graph. It is not a line graph. Okay. So थोड़ा सा discomfort होगा, but I hope by the end of this talk you will take something home which you will be able to learn and which you will be able to maybe read more, maybe explore graph theory as a topic for your research or topic for your, because this is a research methodology workshop, and if you have come to this workshop, you have paid money to attend this workshop, you should be able to take something home, right? It should be worth it. अभी आपको सब लोग Python भी सिखाएंगे. So Python language की capability के बारे में कोई बता सकता है कि what all is possible using? Why do you want to learn Python? Why? What is the capability of this language? या आपको Python को use करके करना क्या है?
सर मशीन लर्निंग में बहुत प्रॉब्लम.
Very good.
बहुत सारी उसकी लाइब्रेरीज है जो केवल पाइथन के साथ काम करती है, जावा पे ढंग से काम.
It is easy to work with. Python is like English. Python is like English. मतलब English में हम बोलते हैं ना, if you are walking on the left side of the road, you are safe. If you are walking on the right side, you are unsafe. या ऐसे कुछ English में बोलते हैं. Same Python का syntax वैसा ही है. If you are doing this, then this. If not, then do that. So Python is one of the easiest languages to learn, actually. One of the easiest computer languages to learn. And that is why it has become so popular. जैसा कि वो स्टूडेंट ने बोला कि आपका क्या नाम है? यथार्थ ने जैसे बोला, मशीन लर्निंग में बहुत यूज होता है and it has a lot of libraries. How was it able to get so many libraries? Because it's easier development. It is easier to come up with a prototype, working prototype, with a faster prototype. It is faster to come up with a working prototype, or what you call a proof of concept. POC बोलते हैं ना? Proof of concept. With a working proof of concept, this is much easier to do it in Python. And then once you can prove that something works in Python, you can prove it works in other languages also, and that is possible to do it in real world. So my topic is basically cognitive science and behavioral analysis, graph theoretic perspective. So इसमें cognitive science is basically management से भी relate होता है, because cognitive science is also, it is the study of the mind. It is study of the mind, it is study of the brain, it is study of how it is of learning, how people learn. So why is it interesting to understand how people think? Why is it interesting to understand how people are thinking, or how our brain works? Why is it essential? Why is it interesting to know? Understand their behavior. To understand the behavior and सबसे मैं इसी को ऑन करता हूँ. So this is better. इससे फोटो भी ज्यादा अच्छी आएगी, तो उसमें से तार ऐसे. तो why is it necessary? कितने लोग मैनेजमेंट से यहाँ पे? मैनेजमेंट से कितने लोग हैं? हाथ खड़े करो अपने. उसमें से कितने लोग मार्केटिंग वाले हैं? उसमें से मार्केटिंग वाले भी और सबसे ज्यादा होंगे. आपको प्रोडक्ट बेचना है, तो आप कब सबसे अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बेच सकते हो? When you understand the mind of your customer. When you understand the mind of your customer, it is so much easier to sell your product, right? So much easier to sell your product. So this is why I picked up this topic. So cognitive science, also cognitive science is so highly interdisciplinary. It's a very high interdisciplinary area because आज की डेट में कोई भी फील्ड आइसोलेटेड काम नहीं कर रहा है ना. मैथमेटिक्स अकेले ऑपरेट कर सकता है ना. कंप्यूटर, अगर कंप्यूटर साइंस की कोई एप्लीकेशन नहीं होगी तो कंप्यूटर साइंस बनेगा ही नहीं कोई कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट, बिकॉज कंप्यूटर साइंस इज फाइंडिंग सच वाइड एप्लीकेशंस एवरीवेयर, right? Computer science is finding applications in everything. That's why people want to become computer scientists, because it's finding application everywhere. So everything is application oriented, right? So for managers also, it is now more important to know a little bit of science, computer science, how to deal with tools. So we find that cognitive science is a very interdisciplinary field because see, it has inputs from so many areas. ये inwards arrows दिख रहे हैं आपको? Incoming arrows. So we talk about linguistics. Linguistics क्या होता है? Study of languages. Study of languages, right? So why study of languages important? Application. अभी AICT का एक initiative आया है, right? क्या सारी textbooks, all English textbooks have to be converted into Hindi, regional, vernacular languages, right? Bengali, everything, like all textbooks have. So how is you think people are going to sit down and translate? नहीं करेंगे. They will use artificial intelligence. They will use some kind of tool to do the translation for them, right? So linguistics, then psychology, again study of the mind, philosophy, anthropology. Anthropology क्या होती है? Anthropology is the study of human cultures. Anthropology is the study of cultures. कि देखो क्या है कि why study of cultures is important? Why study of cultures is important? Because it impacts. She's right. Also, suppose आप इंडिया में हो, you are a BCom student, BCom, BBA, BCom, BCS student, so you have computer science exposure as well. So suppose you are आप इंडिया में अपना प्रोडक्ट बनाते हो और आपको उसको you want to export your product, right? And you want to export it to say any other country like China, Dubai. What is the best way? What do you start first? You will start by understanding the culture of that country, right? You will start by understanding how people behave, what makes them tick. क्योंकि हमारा जो culture है, एक certain culture है. Other countries also have their own culture. Southeast countries, Southeast Asian countries, like China and anywhere in the world. So it helps when you're doing business, you want to do business or you want to enter into that country with your product. So this is where cognitive science comes in. Why I'm giving these examples? Because it is important to understand the wide applications of the human mind, right? So of course neuroscience, and finally it also takes input from artificial intelligence. ये तो सबको पता ही है, थोड़ा बहुत पता है. AI is the term जो सब बोलते हैं कि AI is very good, but very few actually understand what AI is, right? But everybody wants to learn AI, so that is good. So to get better comprehension of the mind and learning, this is why we need cognitive science. See, Python तो आप आने वाले दिनों में सीखोगे ही. अगर आप मुझे अभी Python सिखाने को बोलोगे तो मैं वो भी सिखा दूंगा. But आने वाले टाइम में आप सीखने वाले हो, and this is the like speech, keynote speech to start with, you know, your आने वाले दिनों में तो आप सीखोगे ही hands on. So just to give you a flavor, because one thing is I want to learn Python and one thing is I want to learn Python to do something. One thing is मुझे सीखना है because सब बोलते हैं सीखना चाहिए और मेरे को resume पे लिखना है Python. But one thing is you want to learn Python to be able to do something. Suppose you want to learn Python to design a game. Can you do that? गेम खेलते हो आप कंप्यूटर गेम? रॉक पेपर सिजर्स खेलते हो? रॉक पेपर सिजर्स कितना स्टूडेंट्स को आता है? रॉक पेपर सिजर्स आता है. You can design rock paper scissors in Python. Would you like to design? I'll show you end of this. Okay, I have designed. It's very simple. Not only I, everybody can design. I'll show you how to play rock, paper, scissors. Okay, using Python. Okay. Blackjack खेला है? Blackjack? नहीं. Ping pong, table tennis? We can design a table tennis game using Python. Okay. So chess है, but I am not such a good programmer कि मैं chess design करूँ. But it is possible. But I can show you what code I have written. But that we can see that examples of what you can do with Python. Not just for AI. Your goal can be simple, that I want to design a game using Python. You know, मेरा aim उतना नहीं है. I just want to design a simple game. So I'm learning Python for that. So I'll show you some examples. So applications are vast. Why we are studying this? Education. Why? Because क्या होता है, education में भी बहुत research हो रही है. आप ऐसा मत समझो. Teacher class में आता है, देखता है सब students सो रहे हैं. Everybody is sleeping. Teacher is finding that whatever I'm teaching, student is not retaining it. So there's a lot of research going on in education in trying to understand the mind of the learner, trying to understand the mind of the student, trying to change the pedagogy. There is something called teaching pedagogy, how we teach, how teachers teach. तो उसमें होता है ना कि blackboard से मत सिखाओ, it is very boring. Try to use PPT slides, try to use videos, try to use audio. So you are able to retain the attention of the students, right? Because ultimately you are, for me, from a marketing point of view, for me, who is the customer? You are the customer, right? So I have to attract your attention, right? So I need to understand your mind, what is going on in your mind, right? So that is one application. Criminal psychology.
Failed direct to your speaker, please. अरे नीचे जा.
So if I am trying to understand, see criminals का भी क्या होता है, their behavior also क्या होता है, it repeats, right? पहले वो छोटी चोरी करता है, फिर then confidence
स्पीकर प्रॉपर्टी पे तने कैंसिल कर दी मैं स्पीकर प्रॉपर्टी
online बोल रहा हूँ. So criminal psychology, we need to understand, if we can understand the mind of criminals, we can predict their behavior, right? We can predict because behavior is repetitive. Behavior tends to repeat itself. क्यों होता है ना हमारे साथ, हम एक चीज करते हैं, then we tend to repeat, then that becomes part of our personality, that becomes part of our behavior. We tend to repeat that behavior. So it's important to understand criminal mind. You can use cognitive science for that. Medicine. Human resource management. To understand the mind of employees, to understand the mind of students. I am running a business and suddenly I see that a lot of my employees are leaving. I try to understand what are the pain points, what is. So we take a lot of feedback. Right, from employees. Students से भी बहुत feedback लेते हैं, तो बहुत लंबा feedback लिखते हैं. तो किसी के पास time होता है इतना सारा लंबा पढ़ने का? नहीं होता. So you can do some kind of analysis on that, because when you're getting large amounts of text, that is where computer science will come in. Lot of text is there, and I want to just quickly understand क्या बोलना चाह रहा है. So then we have tools for that also. I will go through that also briefly. Linguistics, study of languages. Operations research is for supply chain management. And best way to advertise products. So there is a study, आप लोग management में पढ़ते होंगे. Professor Dr. R.K. Jain has also taught about it. Is that जो बड़े stores होते हैं, like Walmart, Metro, Best Price, and big warehouses इंदौर में है ना, बड़े Best Price है, फिर so they are warehouses. So there is a method to which products इस particular aisle में होने चाहिए, इस particular area में होने चाहिए, they will sell more. So that's also one kind of study. So they are trying to understand the mind of the customer कि वो नहीं भी खरीदना चाह रहा होगा तो वो एक पैकेट लेके रख लेगा. So the best way to advertise products, arrangement in stores to boost sales. Arrangement in stores. Arrangement means the way they line it up, right? I'll में line up करते हैं. Point of purchase. और जो बड़े बड़े वेयर हाउसेस होते हैं आप उसमें खरीदने जाते हो सामान आप देखते हो it is lined up like that. So there is a science to that also. It is a science. It is no longer a random thing. It is no longer random कि वो प्रोडक्ट वहां पे क्यों रखा हुआ है या प्रोडक्ट वहां पे क्यों नहीं रखा हुआ. Okay, so these kind of studies are happening behind the scenes. You are not aware of it. Why? Because you are the target. You are the customer. आपको टारगेट किया जा रहा है for selling that product. Okay, so keywords to elicit favorable responses in public. And so suppose example आपको बहुत अच्छी speech लिखनी है आपके पास time नहीं है. You want to write a speech, you want to give a speech, you want to create a lot of impact, you don't have the time. So what do? You take 20 very good speeches, take 20 very good speeches और उनका analysis कर लो, computer analysis or make a word cloud. I'll show you how a word cloud is also made. I have made a word cloud for your website, pimd.edu.in. So और उसमें जो words repeatedly use होते हैं, जो पॉलिटिशियंस है ना उनको भी स्पीचेस जो स्पीच राइटर्स होते हैं उनको पता होता है कि कौन सा वर्ड यूज करने से ऑडियंस विल गेट इम्पैक्टेड, ऑडियंस को अच्छा लगेगा, ऑडियंस विल रिस्पॉन्ड और तालियां बजेंगी एंड दैट स्पीच विल बी फेवर्ड. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ साइंस स्टडी. बेस्ट pedagogical practice for teachers, ये I have touched upon. Criminal psychology, international cultural relations, rehabilitation methods for addicts. Behavior is repetitive. Criminal behavior is also repetitive. So an addict's behavior is also repetitive. Okay? So if we can understand the mind of an addict, we can help that person come out of the addiction. Grieving process, the mind process, it is a grieving. We go through a grieving process, so maybe it is important to understand that what that person is going through to be able to pull that person out of it. Military and first responders, training pets, animals. If we understand the mind of a human, we can understand the mind of an animal. We can train that animal. आजकल आप देखते होंगे dogs होते हैं पुलिस के साथ भी, देखें आप? So there are ways to train them, right? And those ways have been trained after studying their mind, after understanding how they think, how animals think, right? So why this thing? My topic is going to be focused a little bit on computer science and applications in management. Okay, where I'm going to talk more about graph from a graph theory perspective, where graph means जो definition madam ने बोली थी, तो मैं उसको define भी कर दूंगा, right? So coming to little bit technical discussion, we are constantly being bombarded with data, right? Lot of data होता है, बहुत सारा data होता है. क्या sources होते हैं? Lot of sources, right? Many people may just be limited to this unstructured like Facebook, LinkedIn, web chats, logs, text, audio, video, images. आप लोग सब management students may be centered here, whereas computer scientists will be exposed to this kind of data as well. But computer science में क्या होता है? The more the better. जितना data मिल सके उतना अच्छा है. So more data, we can do better analysis, right? Even for your management students, you say, right, sample size कितना होना चाहिए, अच्छा होना चाहिए, कितने बड़े से बड़ा 1,000, 10,000 sample size, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. The more the better, right? More the merrier. So these are sources of data. Some is divided in structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. And now data is available on public record, and census data भी मिलता है. Government भी data collect करती है, अपनी website पे डालती है. Sometimes we use that also for research.gov.in, right? .gov.in, not gov.in is where Indian data sets, हमारा census का data सबका होता है. Sometimes you use that also for research or for answering some question, right? So mostly we will be looking at this kind of data, Facebook, LinkedIn, where data exists as graph. So a graph looks like something like this. Graph would look something. This is pictures taken from Wikipedia से ली, है ना? The graph looks something like this. So just to give you perspective, mathematics, अगर आप mathematician से define करने को बोलोगे तो mathematician बोलेगा कि this is a node, this is a vertex, this is an edge. आप बोलोगे क्या बोल रहे हैं, right? She will understand, I will understand because I am a computer scientist. BCA वाले भी समझ जाएंगे शायद अगर data structures लिया है तो. But for normal management people, I'll define it. This node is a person, and this is a connection between two people. These are 4 people, and this is a connection between them. ठीक है? चलेगा? So behind Facebook, behind LinkedIn, behind everything exists networks like these. Networks. This is called network, right? Where one person is connected with the other person is connected with the other, connected with this, connected with this. ऐसे ही होता है ना? You go on Facebook and you say, ये तो मेरे दोस्त का दोस्त का दोस्त है, right? He is a friend of a friend of a friend. What is that? You are one node, he is another node, that person is another node. You are connected through vertices, connected through edges. These lines are called edges, and these nodes are called vertices. So you are connected to another person who you don't know, but he is connected through some friend of yours, right? So there is a network, social. And so the representation is using graphs. And behind the scenes, these graphs are operating. For you, for the machine, for computer science, for a machine, you are a node. You are a node. And all your connections are just vertices. That is how data is being stored. That is how data is operated. Okay. So applications of computer science for cognitive science or applications in management is it will enable personalized marketing. Again, application. Unless there is an application for something, why should we do it, right? So to target somebody personally, आप देखते हो, आप लोग online जाते हो, and then you visit some website, and then suddenly you go to some other website, तो उस website का ad आने लग जाता है. Right? So they are targeting you. They are personally tracking you. They are tracking your information, right? So sentiment analysis, emotional context of conversations, emotional context in conversation. So what is happening? Jैसे suppose I am OnePlus manufacturer, Apple phone, okay? And I am going to launch iPhone 15 or iPhone 16. And I want to create some buzz, pre-launch. I want to know what the customers are saying. So कैसे करेंगे? I'll launch the iPhone or I'll put some online features and then I will see the comments, right? Facebook में comments डालते हैं सब. Then I'll see the comments and then I'll analyze those comments, what my customers are saying. I'll pre-launch the iPhone or launch the iPhone and then I'll ask some people to buy it, some people to give me feedback. And then I'll take their feedback and analyze it, right? So that gives me sentiment analysis. Are you happy, sad, angry? Do you like the phone? Do you like the camera? What don't you like? आपको क्या अच्छा नहीं लगा? Camera अच्छा नहीं लगा? So that is future direction for me to work on something, right? So that is sentiment analysis. Speech to text, again, to computer science tools, language recognition, automatic language translation, intelligent conversational bots. आजकल website पे होता है ना, if you go ऑटोमेटिकली एक AI असिस्टेंट आ जाता है, कैन आई हेल्प यू टेक एडमिशन इन प्रेस्टीज इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट रिसर्च देवास or something like that, right? So these are all things which are happening around us, but they are enabled by technology. That is not a person, it is just an AI bot, right? So there is something called connected components. Computer science algorithm में पढ़ाते हैं हम. I'll just take you briefly over it. Basically, what it says is that randomly lot of people are existing, right? But for personalized marketing, to target certain people, we create. जैसे यहाँ पे क्या है? If you look at this, how many connected components are there? This is one, but these four have no connection to these two, right? So this is one connected component. This is the other, right? It has no other connection with this or with this. Like these are isolated subgraphs. ऐसा बोल सकता है. And this also has no connection with the other, right? So this is one connected component, this is the other, and this is the other. ये हम computer science से identify कर लेते हैं using algorithms. But now, can you think of this as a family? Can you think of this as a family? ये father, ये mother, ये son, ये daughter. Can you think of it like that? Right? So now, suppose I want to target a family. काय के लिए target? For marketing. Okay, not for anything else. For marketing. That I know family will need. Suppose the daughter and son are below the age of 2 years old, granddaughter or something's daughter. So you will target market baby products, right? If their baby is 1 year old, 2 year old, you will target baby products to that family. If they are teenagers, you will target teenage products to be whatever you need. If they are college going, you will target that kind of product. So how do they identify? Computer science के लिए तो data है सब कुछ, right? For us, there everything is data. For computer also, everything is data. Computer is a machine. The machine doesn't understand कि we have to give it the sense, right? Humans have to provide the sense. We are more intelligent. So how do you identify? Can think of edges, nodes as customer IDs. Now edges. These edges are these lines. Credit card usage, address, मोबाइल नंबर. क्या होता है? फादर बेटे के पास क्रेडिट कार्ड तो होता नहीं है, तो वो फादर का क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज करता है जाके. नाउ सडनली फादर्स क्रेडिट कार्ड इज गेटिंग यूज फॉर different kinds of purchases, teenage usage, going for movie. Of course, father also goes for movie, but ऐसे use हो रहा है, the son is using it, right? So when the machine identifies that the credit card usage is the same, it can connect the two nodes and say that there is a connection with links, and then finally it can identify this graph as a family, as one family, because credit card usage same होगा 4 लोगों के बीच में. एक तो आजकल हम मल्टीपल क्रेडिट कार्ड रखते हैं. One person uses 2 to 3 credit cards, right? One person uses 2 to 3 credit cards. तो कैसे वो आइडेंटिफाई करेगी मशीन? So through this, right? These kind of mobile numbers, we have 2 to 3 mobile numbers, right? So we can identify family. We run the connected component and assign a family ID. And using family ID, we can provide personalized recommendation based on the family needs. ये तो हो गई एक एप्लीकेशन. अब इसकी उल्टी एप्लीकेशन क्या होगी? You can also use catch fraud or catch terrorist activities, because terrorists also work in networks. They also work in ग्रुप्स. उनका क्रेडिट कार्ड यूजेज भी सेम होता है, फोन नंबर्स भी सेम होते हैं, लिंक्ड होते हैं, राइट? हाउ डू यू कैच इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस? This is where these kind of things are being used by intelligence agencies like CBI, RAW. Right? This is in Python. तो किसी को Python अगर सीखना है तो आप फिर ये करोगे, बट अभी तो सिर्फ एल्गोरिदम है. I'll let it be at that. I will not go through this algorithm. Only for computer scientists, I have used BFS, breadth first search, to traverse the nodes, BFS, and then run the visit connected component algorithm. ठीक है? Now let's talk something about centrality. Okay, centrality of the node. So now this is again a graph. ये graph है. अब हम comfortable हो गए graph. Now if anybody asks us what is a graph, don't say x-axis, y-axis bar graph. Okay, this is what a graph is in computer science, and for research purposes you can use graph like this. So अब ये graph है. Like see यहाँ पे देखो ये दिख रहा है friend of H is a friend of G, G is a friend of, this is friend of M, M is a friend of E, E is a friend of A, like that, you know. ये graph वैसा है. So centrality means how important a node is. Okay, so now let me explain with a small example. क्लास में आपको पता है कि अगर आपको पूरी क्लास को एक बार पहुंचानी है और सबसे जल्दी पहुंचानी है तो क्या करते हैं? आप एक उस ऐसे आदमी को आइडेंटिफाई करते हो जो सबसे ज्यादा गॉसिप करता है, जो सबसे ज्यादा बात फैलाने वाला है. इफ यू आइडेंटिफाई दैट पर्सन, आप उसको बस बता के जाके वो बात बता दो, एंड दैट विल स्प्रेड टू द entire college, right, or entire classroom, right? So what does that mean? That shows the centrality of that person, right? It shows the centrality of that person, how important that person is in this graph. So you see A is a friend of this guy, D, K, M, E. So A is a very central, right? So if useful for creating application, सोचो, you know Virat Kohli influencer, ये suddenly YouTube influencer. Why? They have so many followers. They have so many followers. What is a follower? A follower is an incoming edge to a graph. Bollywood. Incoming edge to a graph. You see this arrow? So if I were to represent Amitabh Bachchan as a node, it would show a lot of incoming edges where Amitabh Bachchan is a vertex, right? So that is a mathematical representation of what is going on. That is how it is keeping count of the number of followers, whether it is Bollywood celebrities. So you know that this person is important. इसको information दे दो, पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी में फैल जाएगी, पूरी कॉलेज में फैल जाएगी. फिर और किसी को बताने की जरूरत नहीं, मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं है, right? Cognitive science. Think this is how the mind works. This is how networks work, right? So think about it. This is again Python. आप लोग सीखोगे फिर ये बाद में कोड लिख लेना, ठीक है? Just for computer scientists, for mathematicians, in this map I have represented graph as a adjacency list, not as an adjacency matrix. Adjacency list की तरह represent किया है graph को, where the keys are the nodes and the values are the neighbors. So neighbors means ये A है ना, इसके neighbors कौन है? E, C, B and D. Neighbors of the node. Okay. Another phenomenon which we study using rich get richer. अब plain language में हम लोग जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि जो अमीर है वो और अमीर होता है और जो गरीब है वो गरीब का गरीब ही रहता है, right? Layman's language. A person who is already rich gets more and more, and a person who is having less gets less, right? So अब वो तो रियल लाइफ में जो होता है, इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू क्वांटिफाई एवरीथिंग इन कंप्यूटर साइंस, बट वी टेक वन एग्जांपल इन रिसर्च. जैसे जब पीएचडी हो जाएगी आप लोगों की ऑनलाइन, लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर डूइंग पीएचडी. वन फैकल्टी फ्रॉम सेज यूनिवर्सिटी मेंशन्ड दैट शी इज डूइंग पीएचडी फ्रॉम डीएवीवी. तो जब पीएचडी होती है ना तो हम वी डू समथिंग. आई विल जस्ट टेक 1 minute वाटर ब्रेक. So when we have PhD scholars, right? PhD scholars हैं आप? PhD scholars? सो सबसे बोरिंग पार्ट जो होता है पीएचडी स्कॉलर्स का, जो सबसे बोरिंग पार्ट, दैट इज लिटरेचर रिव्यू. सो सब लोग बोलते हैं लिटरेचर रिव्यू किया कि नहीं, लिटरेचर रिव्यू, एंड नोबडी डज इट. सब लास्ट डे उठाते हैं, सब लिटरेचर रिव्यू. सबसे एसेंशियल वही है. सर इज वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट अबाउट इट. सो he has a lot of good books on in PDF format, so you can obtain those books from him and go through. They will help you a lot. So what happens, everybody picks up papers at the last minute. और करते क्या है, मेरे से agree या disagree करना. Okay, all of many of you are PhD scholars. You will pick up a paper which has been cited 5,000 times, and you will pick it up and you cite it again. That means that paper has got 5,001 citations now, right? That paper is rich, right? Rich get richer. Papers which have citations have got more citations. And suppose somebody has done very good work, but they don't have many citations, वो paper आप पढ़ोगे नहीं. So what will happen? Papers, ये papers, these are publication. This is my paper, 2009 में publish किया था. This is a, I've generated a graph for my own paper, one of my own papers. So this is papers that have notes that have more citations. Citation मतलब higher in degree, maths, are more visible and likely to draw more new citations because of their visibility. Because of their visibility. और किसी का अच्छा काम भी है, लेकिन अगर वो कम cited है, वो neglect हो जाएगा. So the rich will get richer, right? Now there is another phenomenon called 6 degrees of separation. ऐसा सुना है क्या? कोई बता सकता है मेरे को 6 degrees of separation? Anybody knows about 6 degrees of separation? So it is a hypothesis. Hypothesis करते हैं research में, right? So hypothesis says that आप दुनिया के किसी भी आदमी के साथ 6 जंप्स में कनेक्टेड हो, 6 डिग्री से कनेक्टेड हो. मतलब जैसे मैंने अभी बोला था, फ्रेंड ऑफ अ फ्रेंड ऑफ अ फ्रेंड, राइट? तो ऐसे 6 जंप अगर आप करोगे तो आप यू विल बी कनेक्टेड टू दैट पर्सन इन द वर्ल्ड. That is called, that means you are separated by any person on this earth through 6 degrees. अब वो 6 है, 7 है, 8 है, we don't know. But that is a hypothesis that you're connected to every person. If we were to create a graph of the entire world. Okay, so that is another hypothesis. This is closeness centrality. एक हमने centrality, we've understood centrality means how important a node is in a graph, right? So this is closeness. Closeness को define करते हैं as how close it is to all the other nodes in the graph, right? So for this, it means sum of the geodesic distance between the node and all the other nodes. Geodesic distance means shortest path. Shortest path algorithm. So shortest path means जैसे अभी आपको वापस जाना है इंदौर, तो यहाँ से जाने के 2-3 रास्ते होंगे, एक ही रास्ता है, आई डोंट नो, 2-3 रास्ते हैं. तो आप गूगल मैप्स निकालते हो, फिर आप देखते हो कि सबसे जल्दी कौन सा जा रहा है, और गूगल भी बता देता है. What is the algorithm that Google is using? There is something called shortest path algorithm. Okay, there is something called shortest path. So it is using the shortest path. Now what this is saying is, closeness centrality means how closely a node is associated with all the other nodes in the graph. How close with all the other nodes in the network or the graph, right? Why is it important? Because कोई भी information मैंने दी, I want that information to transmit quickly. कोई भी मेरा message है, suppose I'm launching a product, I want it to penetrate in the market सबसे जल्दी, right? I'm launching a product. Why do companies use Virat Kohli, Amitabh Bachchan? Why? Because they know once they endorse their product, immediately it gets acceptance, right? Here also, closeness. So if I see, select a node with the lowest, suppose A का जो distance है, that is 17, and L का जो है, that is 33. And suppose one edge is 1 minute. One edge is 1 minute. So एक अगर मैं information दूंगा तो वो पूरे ग्राफ में फैल जाएगी in 17 minutes. Fastest. Whereas if I give it to L, it will take 33 minutes to travel. तो मैं किसको दूंगा? A को दूंगा, right? So that is the centrality of that. But now this is something called Can you see the video? ये आपका pmid.edu.in है वेबसाइट, ये उसका ग्राफ है, pm का ग्राफ है, और ये वेब पेजेस हैं सारे, ये pmid.edu.in / ये लिंक्स हैं, ये pmi मैं इसको वेब ब्राउज़र खोलूं, this is a graph of your website. This one. Can you read this pmi.edu.iic section? This is a web page. See this. pmi.edu/MBA. pmi.edu.in/governing body. These are all your web pages. Now, can you see some of these nodes are bigger in size and some are smaller? Right? What is this? Director message. Sir का web page छोटा है. Not web page छोटा ही है. It has less number of incoming collections to it. Incoming links कम है. ये क्या है? IIC section. This is important. So MBA, NISP, ठीक है? NISP. So I created a graph. For your website, and you see how the important nodes are growing in size, right? And the not so important nodes are smaller. So I can understand that this is important. By just looking at the graph, I can figure out, right? There is some algorithm. This algorithm is called PageRank actually. This algorithm was first used by Google to rank web pages. Google क्या करता है? Web pages की रैंकिंग देता है, राइट? वेब पेजेस की रैंकिंग देता है, और आपको लगता है जिसकी रैंक ऊपर है वहीं एडमिशन लो, उसी में एडमिशन लेना चाहिए, उसी में एडमिशन लो. कमर्शियली नहीं चलेगा तो बंद हो जाएगा. Ultimately, everything has to find an application. The PageRank algorithm was done by some computer scientist or mathematician somewhere, but who used it? The founders of Google, Larry Page, right? So what does PageRank do? It evaluates the importance of a web page, and this is a continuous process. आज जो important है जरूरी नहीं कल वो ऊपर रहे, तो वो algorithm continuously चलता रहता है, and it keeps assigning ranks to the web pages, and it keeps changing the ranks also based on the number of incoming edges or incoming links. What for a graph? What is an incoming edge becomes an incoming link to the website. Incoming link पता है आपको? वेब पेज में किसी और वेबसाइट के पेज को रेफरेंस करना, इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस. So this is a PageRank which I ran on your website. This is the algorithm. I don't know if this is clear. पढ़ने में आ रहा है क्या? This is just the snapshot of the algorithm that is running. ये आपके links हैं pimd.edu.in, और ये web pages हैं, ये इनकी number of incoming links हैं, old page rank, फिर new page rank, ID of the page and URL of the page. So old rank, new rank क्यों कर रहा है? Because continuously ranks भी update होती रहती हैं. ऐसे ही तो पेज ऊपर ही नीचे जाएगा, right? So this is also something which is being used for the customer's benefit, but behind it has Python, management science, cognitive science, everything working. Okay. Word cloud. So this is a word cloud for pmiedu.in/about-institute. ये आपका वेब पेज है. लोड नहीं हो रहा. Now look at this page, okay? This is about institute. Now I'll just search for some words. दिख रहा है वर्ड ट्रेनिंग. ये वर्ड ट्रेनिंग कितनी बार आ रहा है इस सेक्शन में? 1 2 3 4. Right? Now let us look at another word, institute. कितनी बार आ रहा है? आते ही जा रहा है. तो 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 times. Now look for another word, management. कितनी बार आ रहा है? Right? So if you construct a word cloud for this page, what will it show? Now this is a word cloud. Word institute बार बार आ रहा है, ट्रेनिंग बार बार आ रहा है, मैनेजमेंट बार बार आ रहा है, प्रेस्टीज 1 2 बार आ रहा है, स्किल्ड और छोटा हो गया, ये और छोटा हो गया, बेस्ड और कम है. So what is happening? A word which a body of text में जो word बार बार आ रहा है उसका साइज बड़ा होता जा रहा है, and that is called a word cloud. So it is a visual representation of the frequency of words within a given body of text. Suppose मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, मेरे को स्पीच प्रिपेयर करनी है, मेरे को टॉक देनी है, प्रेस्टीजियस स्टूडेंट्स की रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी है, एंड आई डोंट हैव टाइम. मैं क्या करूंगा? एक पूरा पेज लूंगा, उसका वर्ड क्लाउड बना दूंगा. So it will give me insight into what that text is talking about, right? 4-5 ऐसे words होंगे जो, suppose I want to give a speech, तो मेरे को पता होना चाहिए ऑडियंस को किस चीज के बारे में बात करनी है. आई डोंट हैव द टाइम. वो एक वर्ड क्लाउड बना सकते हो इन अ मैटर ऑफ सेकंड्स, व्हिच विल टेल मी दैट दिस वर्ड इज गोइंग टू बी यूज्ड अगेन एंड अगेन. इंस्टीट्यूट, ट्रेनिंग, मैनेजमेंट. तो पहले ही पता चल जाएगा कि प्रेस्टीज इज अ मैनेजमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट, फोकस्ड, यू नो, और reputed for management. So these are simple ways in which computer science and all this can be done through Python. आप Python सीखना चाहते हो ना, तो अब मैं Python 1 घंटे में तो सिखा नहीं सकता, मुश्किल है. सिखा दूंगा, but then it is difficult. It takes time, but it is worth learning. I can guarantee that. Okay, so visual representation gives insight without having to go through long pages of text. Thesis hai. Suppose I want to go through the thesis, I can just make a word cloud representation, understand what the thesis is talking about, right? Applications, identifying customer pain points. Suppose you have taken feedback from customer and 100-200 पेज का कस्टमर ने फीडबैक लिख दिया, आप उसका वर्ड क्लाउड बना, आपको कीवर्ड समझ में आ जाएंगे, राइट? हेलो, हाँ ठीक है, मैं कॉल बैक करता हूँ 10 मिनट, है ना? अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ एम्प्लॉइज फील अबाउट योर कंपनी. क्या होता है, हम फैकल्टी से ना फीडबैक लेते हैं हर बार. फैकल्टी को बोलते हैं नहीं आप फीडबैक दीजिए, आपको क्या अच्छा नहीं लगा, बट वो इतना बड़ा फीडबैक होता है कि टाइम ही नहीं होता हमें पढ़ने का हमारे पास. तो आप वर्ड क्लाउड बना सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं. स्टूडेंट फीडबैक लेते हैं, 360 डिग्री फीडबैक, राइट? सो ये आई विल कम टू दिस. पहले ये I want to talk a little bit about cognitive bias. मैथ्स में पढ़ाते हैं ना प्रोबेबिलिटी, क्या बोलते हैं? व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ टॉसिंग अ कॉइन? मतलब कॉइन टॉस करोगे तो प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या होगी? ठीक है, अभी आप 10 बार कॉइन को उछालो, कैन यू गारंटी कि 5 टाइम्स हेड आएगा और 5 टाइम टेल आएगा? नहीं, राइट? सपोज आई टॉस इट 10 टाइम्स एंड 6 टाइम्स हेड आता है और 4 टाइम्स टेल आता है, तो इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी 60-40? इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी 60-40? यस? हाँ, हाथ खड़ा करो, 60-40 कौन बोल रहा है? The probability still remains 50-50. But when is that 50-50 true? That 50-50 is not true for only 10 trials. It will be true when you do it for 10,000 trials or 100,000 trials. When the number of experiments, when the number of, तो क्या है? Then the probability, then the true probability, the true nature of the experiment comes out, right? So there is a cognitive bias called gambler's fallacy. अब लोग गैम्बल करने जाते हैं कसिनो में, ये कहीं भी जाते हैं, आप गेम खेलते हो, आप लूडो खेलते हो, लॉकडाउन में लूडो खेला था, ठीक है? एक बार रोल किया 2 आया, एक बार रोल किया 3 आया, 4 आ गया, 6 आ ही नहीं रहा, अब तो 6 आएगा ही आएगा, राइट? ऐसा होता है क्या? द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ 6 कमिंग इज ऑलवेज 1/6. आपने हेड्स किया, 4 बार हेड्स आ गया, नाउ यू से 4 बार हेड है, इस बार तो टेल्स आएगा ही आएगा. Is that true? Is there any link? These are all independent events and the probability still remains 50-50 or 16% for a dice roll. Individuals erroneously believe that a certain random event is less likely or more likely to happen based on the outcome of a previous event or series of events. 4 बार head आ गया, 5वीं बार तो tail आएगा ही, right? So that is why we need to run an experiment for long time to see the true nature. And this is a code, again, this is in Python, for this is called Monte Carlo simulation. This is again a code in Python to check the true nature of a coin toss. Okay, so this is again thoda research flavor hai, but you are of course doing a research methodology, so fine this. And this is one good slide. ये मूवी देखिए किसी ने, मनी बॉय? यहाँ पे मूवीज दिखाते हैं सर स्टूडेंट्स को, ये वाली दिखाना, मनी बॉय देखिए, यू शुड सी दिस मूवी. एक और मूवी है 21, खेल देखिए किसी ने? 21, यू शुड सी दैट मूवी आल्सो. अमिताभ बच्चन की एक मूवी थी ना, 3 पत्ती, वो देखिए, लूजली बेस्ड लाइक दैट ओनली, स्टोरी वैसी है, ठीक है? 21 is about an MIT college student who learns how to count cards at a casino. Okay, so that is also about probability. So anyhow, this is a game. This is called Monty Hall problem. ये किसी ने पहले किया हुआ है? So this is also called game show host problem. Okay, the game समझ लो आप. Game is कि there are 3 doors. There are 3 doors. Behind one door is a car. And if you can guess correctly 3 में से कौन से door के पीछे कार है, that car is yours. You will win that car. So now you start guessing. Okay, anybody guess door number 1, 2 or 3? Suppose this is closed, you don't know goat है वहाँ पे कि नहीं, so you would guess, let us say door number anything. Guess door number 1. huh? 1. Okay, so door number 1. ठीक है, somebody guess door number 1. नहीं रख दो. So door number 1. Okay, so now the game show host says कि अच्छा आपने door number 1 चूज किया, मैं आपकी हेल्प करता हूँ. हिंट देते ना गेम में, मैं आपकी हेल्प करता हूँ. डोर नंबर 3 के पीछे गोट है, मैं दरवाजा खोल करके बता दिया कि गोट है. अब आप डोर नंबर 1 के साथ ही जाना चाहोगे या अपनी चॉइस चेंज करना चाहोगे? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन द गेम शो होस्ट विल आस्क यू. नाउ माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज, वुड यू लाइक टू चेंज और वुड यू लाइक टू स्टिक विद डोर नंबर 1? 1 चूज किया आपने, अब मैंने बता दिया 3 के पीछे गोट है, कार नहीं है, तो आप 1 पे ही रहोगे या चेंज करोगे अपनी चॉइस? एक जन बताओ. चेंज करोगे? चेंज करना आपके फेवर में है, चेंज करोगे या वही रहोगे कि वो मेरे को बेवकूफ बना रहा है, ऐसा सोच रहे हो, ऐसा सोचोगे? It is in your favor to switch. It is always in your favor. Probability says it is in your favor to switch. How? When I have 3 doors, probability of a car behind each door is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, right? Now when ये door खुल गया and this is out, we think it is 1/2 and 1/2. It is not like that. What happens is this is 1/3, this is out. So this probability of this becomes 2/3. Probability of door number 2 becomes 2/3. So it is always in your favor to switch. Read about it. Monty Hall problem. Wikipedia पे भी है. Okay, and it is discussed in many classes also. So this is just for entertainment purposes. And Moneyball. So this is a movie जिसमें जैसे हमारे यहाँ क्रिकेट होता है वैसे अमेरिका में बेसबॉल होता है। तो टीम बनाई जाती है 11 प्लेयर्स की, और टीम को प्लेयर्स को वो बेसबॉल कार्ड्स खेलते थे क्या बचपन में, कार्ड्स आते थे बेसबॉल के, तो वो क्या प्लेयर्स को खरीदा जाता है, जैसे टीम बनाई जाती है, जैसे हमारे आईपीएल में होता है बिडिंग होती है प्लेयर्स की, खरीदा जाता है प्लेयर्स को। तो जो प्लेयर को असेस करने का तरीका है उस पे है कि प्लेयर को असेस, प्लेयर की जो वैल्यू है कि इसको हम 1 करोड़ देंगे 2 करोड़ देंगे खरीदने के लिए, अपनी टीम में लाने के लिए, that is being done on the basis of popularity, not on the basis of statistics, on the basis of the performance of the player. So this movie is about this general manager called Billy Bean, and how he changed the way baseball thinks. How he said कि मैं player जो अपनी टीम बनाऊंगा वो मैं statistics के basis पे बनाऊंगा, and that team won more matches than any other team on a budget. तो उसने सबसे सस्ते प्लेयर्स लेके ऐसी एक टीम क्रिएट करी जिसने सबसे ज्यादा मैचेस जीते. So this movie is about that. You should watch. That's why it's called Moneyball. Okay, so that ends my presentation. As promised, I'll just show you rock paper scissors. Okay. Yes. I am carrying one game rock paper scissors, so I'll show you rock paper scissors through Python. Okay, because this methodology is about Python. So can anybody tell me how you play rock paper scissors? Rock paper scissors. बहुत सारे लोग खेलते हैं ना यहाँ पे. बच्चों के साथ खेलते हैं, कोई भी बता दो. So rock paper scissors is like this. Okay. This is rock paper scissors, right? Students, scissors beats paper, paper beats rock, rock beats scissors. मतलब scissors cuts paper, paper rock को cover कर देता है और rock scissor को तोड़ देता है, right? So now I'm playing this with a computer. This is a program. I'm not claiming copyright for this program. This program has been written. Okay, so I'm playing with the computer. So suppose I guess, and everybody guess, right? Two players guess. तो हमें नहीं पता आप क्या guess करने वाले हो. So suppose my guess is rock. Player chooses rock. Computer chooses scissors. इस केस में क्या होगा? Rock will break the scissors, right? Rock will. So player will win, right? Now my next choice is, let us say, scissors. I choose scissor, and this program is written for fork, paper, lizard, scissors. So ये बड़ा वाला program है. Anyhow, suppose I choose rock. I choose rock. Computer chooses paper. So what will happen? Paper will cover rock. So computer wins, right? So simple programs like these you can do using Python, and this is Python program, not very complicated at all. Okay, so all the best to you for coming days to learn Python, to use it whether you want to do research or you want to do design games or you want to have fun. Okay, all the best. Thank you. Online questions and I can give them time for Q&A.
Sure.
I can take questions from online audience also and from the students present here. Any questions?
If anybody has any question,
You can take questions.
you can ask, unmute yourself and you can ask.
From the audience here also. Usko question. मतलब यथार्थ. Mic then. Good question. There is something called random. There is a package you mentioned, right? Python में बहुत modules होते हैं, packages होते हैं. There is a package called random. So random को हम, there is a method in random called random.choice. So random.choice में मैं अगर 3 या 4 choices दे दूं, it will generate one random choice out of which every time. Simple game है. It is not the, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं बैटलफील्ड डिजाइन कर रहा हूँ या वो बड़े. आजकल कौन से गेम खेलते हो? कौन सी गेम खेलते हो आजकल? GPUB or whatever, PUBG, right? It's not like I have designed PUBG. It is a simple game which is, to play that game, I want you to learn Python, but I want you to learn Python in a way that you will use Python also, right? अगर मैं Python के constructs, programming constructs, if I just teach you like that, that is another way of teaching. I'm not saying it is wrong, but I would like to teach you in a way that you can use it to do something, right? So that way it's a simple game. Okay. Any other question? So you can send your questions, and maybe I'll share my email ID. You can send your questions, or you can share them with the editor's office. And okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm very sure our audience, both in online and both, has gained immense knowledge from your session. Thank you so much, sir, for that. Proceeding further, it's a matter of knowledge to acknowledge our guest by presenting them a token of remembrance. To present token of gratitude to Professor Dr. Dhruv Ghai, sir, I would like to call upon Dr. Yogen Singh Vajawat, sir. gentlemen, as we commence towards the end of this inaugural ceremony, I would like to invite Ms. Bhagyashree Sandav to present vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries, Honorable Chief Guest Professor Dr. Dhruv Ghai sir, respected Director sir, esteemed faculty members and dear participants. On behalf of Prestige Institute of Management and Research Devas, I, Bhagyashree Sandav, the coordinator of this workshop, feel honored to extend my sincere gratitude on this occasion of the inauguration of our 7th National Research Methodology Workshop on Data Analytics through Python. A special thanks to our chief guest, Professor Dr. Dhruv Ghai sir, for gracing us with his presence and sharing his valuable insights. Your expertise and support adds immense value to this event, and we are truly grateful. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to our Director, Professor Dr. R.K. Jain sir, whose vision, guidance, and encouragement have been pivotal in making this workshop a reality. Thank you once again, and may this workshop be an enriching and enlightening journey for everyone involved. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Proceeding further, I will now kindly request everyone to please stand up for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की जय भारत माता की जय
Yes, thank you so much, everyone.
दो फोटो लोग बाहर करें प्लीज कम फॉर दो फोटो आउटसाइड आइए क्लियर करो क्लियर तो क्लोज कर दो आइए